Hello, this is Nako Jr. here, and welcome to How to Train Your Dragon Month. Yes, the time of year where I can talk about how to train your dragon. I just happened to do it because live action remake's coming out. So you know what? Why not? I'm sadly gonna see it. I'm kind of worried for it. Kind of worried, but at least I get to talk about How to Train Your Dragon. Anyway. With the first movie that we're going to be talking about, it's, of course, How to Train Your Dragon, the one from 2010, which I adore. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And first things first, let's talk about the soundtrack here. Yeah, I'm going to play this track the whole video. But, my god, the soundtrack just fucking nails it. Like, oh my god, I just love the fucking soundtrack to this movie. Like, the soundtrack is probably the best part of this movie. Like, it just grabs your attention. Like, when there's a scene that happens in the movie, the soundtrack just grabs your attention and just gravitates towards you and gravitates to me or the audience. And yeah, it just gravitates you and just pulls you right in, and I love that. Yeah, the soundtrack is peak, and yeah, whoever did the soundtrack for this movie, kudos to you, because man, you made a peak soundtrack, and I just fucking love it. Because there are so many moments in this movie where the soundtrack just eats at your heart and just grabs your attention. It's so good. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. The soundtrack is just peak. It just is. It's just amazing. Like, oh my god, it knows how to grab your attention real quick. Without further ado, let's get into the characters. Okay, I don't know the actors' names, so I'm just gonna call him by the movie. Hiccup is a boy who yearns for more, which ain't gonna lie, that's been done to death. But here's the thing: we actually get to see him grow throughout this movie and actually see him develop as a character. And then he doesn't want to kill dragons as soon as he finds, oh shit, there's this one scene in the movie, and you know what and everybody knows what scene I'm talking about, when he first meets Two-Fist and he hesitates on killing Two-Fist. Like, that scene is so intense. It's the most intense scene in the movie, and oh my god, when you just see it in Two-Fist's eyes and just looks at him and he's just ready. It's like Two-Fist is saying, just do it already. He's already in enough pain. Yeah. And it's pretty dark if you think about it. It's a pretty dark scene. Actually, there's a lot of dark scenes in this movie. Yeah, I just love the Hiccup's character. And the other characters like Astrid, Key Club, the twins, Key Club, and what's his name? The fat boy. I'm sorry, I don't know what their names are. It's been a minute. I know I just watched this, but oh my god. Fish Legs, and what's it with the guy? The Josh. You know what guy I'm talking about? The guy with the brown. Fish Legs. I know it's Fish Legs, and then there's the Jock. I can't remember the name. Whatever that guy's name. You know what I'm talking about. The guy who rides the monster's name at the end. But that guy. I think he's probably my least favorite character in the movie. I didn't honestly care for him. But yeah. And the characters I do enjoy for the most part, except for like that guy, because he's pretty much forgettable. And yeah. And they all play off each other and also grow as they get to know each other, especially Astrid. I think yeah, they get the most character development with Astrid, and yeah. Oh, it's not. That's his name. I think that's no. Is that his name? Yeah, it's not out. But yeah, they grow together, and they learn how to fight dragons. And Hiccup's the only one who feels like an outsider. So yeah, learning from his father, because he's pretty much learning from his father, and pretty much feels like an outsider because of his father stoic. Yeah, which is yeah, pretty yeah, which pretty much every kid can relate to. To be honest. Okay, anyway, but and I really enjoyed the lesson in this movie, and yeah, I enjoyed the characters in this movie, and yeah, the characters in this movie were pretty good. I enjoyed every single one of them in the performance, and it was pretty well handled. Like all the actors are giving it all, and I genuinely believe the character development in this movie. So yeah. Now let's talk about the dragons. Ooh boy, the dragons. We got from the Monstrous Nightmare, which is epic. Who's not in the movie that much, but that doesn't matter epic. And then you got the hideous Zippleback. Was it? Yeah, Zippleback. The Deadly Nano. The Terrible Terror, and a little guys. Those little guys. I forgot what to call. The two-headed Zippleback, the Deadly Nano, the Monstrous Nightmare, the Grunkle, and the Terrible Terror. Yeah, those dragons are awesome. But let's get talk about the real dragons of this story. The ones that own the show. Toothless himself, aka the Night Fury, and the Night Fury, aka Toothless. Yeah, the scenes with Hiccup and Toothless are probably one of the most well relatable scenes. Like, they just gravitate you, and they learn that they're getting to build a friendship in such a short amount of time. Like, they're becoming friends, and he's getting to know someone who's not like him, someone who's not like him. He's a dragon. But you can easily relate to the Toothless because for some reason the animators decided to base Toothless movements off of Kikats. So it's pretty much yeah, and they also kind of modeled it after like a leopard, apparently a black leopard. Apparently, that's what they modeled Toothless off of. So he's kind of like big old Kit Kat. Yeah, and that just makes you gravitate and relate more to Toothless even more because he's a big old Kit Kat. I just want to say that. But even besides that, he does show personality. And Toothless is probably one of the best dragons in all of... one of the most iconic dragons. And I just love this movie. Like, this movie is so good. And let's talk about the story. And with that said, let's talk about the story. The story is basically pretty simple. It's pretty simple, to be honest. There's not much to the story. It's just... dragons, people trying to get along. I think the story is pretty good. It's simple and good at the same time. I do enjoy the story. I love this story. The plot is... it helps move the plot along. And yeah, I think what drives this movie the most is the character development between Hiccup and Toothless, and to such an Astrid, and some of the other characters. Like, the character moment between all the characters are pretty much go through arcs. Like even Stoic goes through arc. He goes from hating dragons to wanting to protect them once he figured out what's on the island. And spoilers for a 15-year-old movie. What's on the island is the Red Death, the big boy dragon, and I feel like this movie didn't really need the Red Death to be on the island. I don't know why they added the Red Death on the island. That's the nitpick I have to say about this movie. This movie really didn't need a villain, so we didn't really need Red Death in this movie. I guess it was just to have a big old climax and stuff. That's okay. But I would have preferred if we just had like character development and maybe, I don't know, not a big old Red Death. Which, yeah, well, the climax is pretty cool. It's just, I don't know. It's even though I will admit that looking at that scene when Two-Fist is fighting the Red Death is pretty scary, and the Red Death himself is also pretty scary and intimidating. I will admit that he is pretty scary and intimidating of a villain. Like, just look at his design. He has 6 eyes, and yeah, and he looks like a big old dragon. And he doesn't look like, and he looks like something from out of this world. Yeah. All I can say is that this movie is pretty peak. I do enjoy this movie. This movie is probably one of the best How to Train Your Dragon movies. I do think but it's not my favorite. I do think Hidden World's probably my favorite when it comes to the How to Train Your Dragon movies. So yeah, we'll get to Hidden World eventually. But with that said, now we can end this review, and I'll see you next time when we review How to Train Your Dragon 2, and then Hidden World after that, and then the live action remake at the end of the month. So with that said, this is how I'm going to sign off, and remember, stay big, How to Train Your Dragon fans. Or stay big, Extreme fans. I don't know. Alright, bye.